If you're watching this around Christmas time and you're starting to think to yourself, I can't have another year like this one, then this video is for you. Christmas is such a loud time of year, isn't it? You know, there's parties, there's school plays, there's family gatherings, friends, drinks, all the things. And it's brilliant. And I love England. I love Christmas at home in England, and I actually really miss it, to be fair. But it's also a time of year, I think, when we start to reflect and we start to look at what we've been doing over the last year and where our lives are right now. And we often start to ask ourselves, is this actually what I want? And wanting change isn't the same as wanting to escape. You know, you can want things to change without wanting to run away from things. It's perfectly normal to feel like the pressure of all the expectations that are on you, especially as parents at this time of year. You know, you've done everything you're supposed to do. You've worked hard. You've supported your kids at school. You've supported other people in your life maybe as well. So when you start thinking, I want things to be different, often that comes with a little bit of guilt as well. Like, we should feel grateful for what we've got. We should feel grateful for our family, for our friends, for our children, for our homes, for all the things that we have. And of course, we feel grateful for those things. But also, there's nothing wrong with it, and you shouldn't feel guilty for thinking those things. Because wanting change doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're maybe tired of the life that you're living, tired of the day-to-day routine and monotony of life, but also maybe you're waking up to something new. Maybe you're waking up to the new possibilities and opportunities that you could have in your life. And so many parents reach this point after years of doing all the right things, you know, ticking all the boxes, making sure everything's done the way it should be, conforming to society's norms and values, and waiting for the right time to make a change. What tends to follow those thoughts is the fear of the unknown, really, is what it is. But it comes down to a few things. It's the fear of disrupting your kids' lives, the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of being judged, the fear of regretting everything and it doesn't work out. And those fears are totally normal. And honestly, let me tell you now, we have had exactly the same fears, and the majority of families I've spoken to have said a similar thing. You know, before they left their normal lives, they were really worried that making these huge changes and starting to go travelling, whether it was just for a gap year or long-term forever travel, what kind of impact would it have on their kids? You know, it's terrifying, the idea of taking your kids out of school, away from what they know, away from that stability, away from friends, away from what we should be doing for our children, sticking them on a plane and taking them halfway around the world. That's terrifying for most people. And if you're not feeling that fear, I guarantee you will if you start to think about this more deeply. You know, we all have this worry that we need to make the right choices for our kids. We want our kids to have the best possible lives. And the idea that we are being so irresponsible by removing our kids from that stability is very scary. And we also might feel that we're being judged by other people, you know, like being judged by teachers, being judged by friends, by family, as being an irresponsible parent. But it's really interesting that kids don't normally need all of the things that you think they need. They actually just need to be connected to you and be near you. And I really believe that fear shows up when something is important. Fear is your brain's way of keeping you safe. And It's your nervous system's way of making sure that you don't do anything too reckless and do something dangerous. But changing your life for the better, seeking freedom and opportunity and a different way of living isn't dangerous. But it is scary because it is different and it's unknown. And that is what you're afraid of. You're afraid of the unknown. Fear usually shows up when something really matters. Most people feel that they need to be ready, completely ready for this to happen. You know, they need to have exactly the right amount of money. They need to have the plan. They need to have the exact timeline. They need to have absolute certainty that this is going to work and that everyone is going to be on board and everyone is going to be happy and have an amazing time. That time is never going to happen. I'll tell you now, nothing is ever going to be certain. You are never going to be 100% ready. It doesn't work like that. For us, knowing the right time was now wasn't a sudden moment. It wasn't anything big that had happened. You know, we weren't made redundant. You know, nothing really drastic happened. But we were speaking with people, and actually this happened twice. This happened when I first went travelling back in my 20s, and also more recently with Jai, speaking to people who said, I wish I had gone travelling. I wish I could do this. I wish I could go and move to Australia. I wish we could go and visit Thailand. I wish we could go and do this. I'd love to be able to homeschool my kids, but I can't because of X, Y, Z. I wish we could, I'd love to be able to do what you do. It's so exciting and it sounds so amazing, but we can't because of this, that, and the other. Hearing those people say those things all the time made me and Jeff realise that we don't want to be saying the same thing. We don't want to be saying, I wish we'd done that. I wish we'd taken Jai overseas. I wish we'd joined that world schooling hub that we saw. I wish we'd had a go. I wish we'd just done something different. We don't want to be saying that when we're in our 50s and 60s and 70s and beyond. Look back and have regrets. We wanted to look back and be able to say, we did those things. We did it. And, you know, even if we look back and say, okay, well, we tried and it didn't work out, that's still better than saying, I wish I'd tried. I didn't do anything. For me and Jeff, that was our biggest push, I think, listening to other people saying they wish they had done these things and saying to ourselves, well, let's just do it. Let's go. You know, people will always say they don't have enough money, they don't have enough time, they don't have enough of whatever, they can't change their jobs, they can't get out of their rental agreement, they've got too much money on their credit cards. There's always something. And there was for us too. We didn't magically have this pot of money and all this time. You know, we had to change things. We had to make this work. But there was always going to be something that's going to stop you. But what is going to be the thing that makes it happen for you? If traveling the world with your family and world schooling and exploring and slow travel is something that you have been dreaming about, you do not need a plan. You do not need a huge pot of money. You don't need anyone else's approval. You just need to be brave enough to make that decision that this is something that you want. Sit with the idea. Talk about it with your partner. Talk about it with your kids. Talk about it with people who are going to support you and have friends, you know. Maybe watch videos, YouTube videos or Instagram videos. Get an idea of destinations and of other families who have done something similar. There are so many accounts online of people who are doing exactly what we're doing. Watch some of those. Get an idea about how this works and how they made it happen. Spend some time researching some of the places that appeal to you, the destinations. Look into world schooling. Look into remote working for yourself and your partner. That is doing something. These are the first baby steps towards making this dream something that you can actually say, I did that. It's not about watching this video and then going and booking that flight and putting your house on the market. That's massive. Start small. Start with the baby steps. Start with the easy steps. Figure out if this is right for you and your family, and then start to plan how you can make it happen. If you've been watching this and it's resonated with you, I have created some free and paid for resources that are really going to support you in your journey to traveling the world with your family. All the links are in the description. Go and have a look, and don't forget to subscribe and watch more of our videos where I'm going to tell you exactly how we made this happen.